Hey there, Lotus fans. Bryant Cook, and today we're playing Lurrus Lotus Breach with a card that was inspired by a Dredge opponent. I'm talking about Otherworldly Gaze. It's a 1 blue instant that says look at the top 3 cards of your library. You may put any number of those to your graveyard, or you can put any number of them on top of your library, and then it flashes back for 2 mana. Not the exact wording, but you get the idea. So why is this good? Well, it fuels our graveyard for Underworld Breach, which is just really, really powerful. It also digs really well for Lotus Field, because there will be some number of games where you don't draw Lotus Field or Wishclaw Talisman, and digging 6 cards for an exact card is pretty good, while, also helping us with our plan A of Underworld Breach. So I'm in for Otherworldly Gaze. I've been playing it throughout the course of, the last few days, and I've just really, really enjoyed it. I understand it doesn't replace itself. The card that we cut, Serum Visions, does replace itself. Honestly, that hasn't been a big deal to me. While Serum Visions does replace itself, it's always a random card, which we're not really concerned with in this deck. We are looking for specific cards to win the game and win the game efficiently. And Otherworldly Gaze actually helps pretty well at accomplishing turn 3 wins because it just puts that magic number to the graveyard. You might remember from our initial Lurrus Lotus Breach videos, where in order to win with Wish, you need 10 cards in graveyard. So you need a Lotus Field, you need 2 Twiddles, you need a Wish, but then you need 10 cards in graveyard. Otherworldly Gaze does that, where, Serum Visions doesn't really help us accomplish our goals, and that extra, card in your hand likely doesn't matter, while having all of those tools in the graveyard does. So I'm really interested in trying Otherworldly Gaze today in a recorded video, although at this point I've probably played it in 3 or 4 leagues. My results have been fine. I haven't 5-0'd, but I have gone 3-2, 4-1, those records. So, let's see if we can do better today. I would love to 5-0 with this deck, but you never know what's going to happen, right? One of the bigger changes is the shift to move Force of Negation to the sideboard. Recently, I feel like the best decks in Modern are more and more fair. I'm talking about Death Shadow, this new 4-color Blink deck, or Money Pile. All these decks are mostly fair decks. Hammer Time, yes, Force is fine there. It hits your Colossus Hammers and all that good stuff, but it's not really that great. And then when you look at the upper tier of Modern, most of it's fair stuff. Jund, Burn, whatever. And Force isn't really good there. So I'm moving it to the sideboard. We can board it in against combo matchups, but for now, that's where I think it should be. And we're sort of reverting back to an older build, so you'll notice there's no weight here. So we're not running Prismatic Ending. Instead, we are running a main deck bounce spell with 3 more on the board. This is to beat effects like Blood Moon. I feel like recently the cards that Prismatic Ending hits, they're less common than they used to be, but on top of that, it's so much easier to win off a spell that costs blue. So what I'm talking about is you tap your Lotus Field for triple blue, you play a Void Snare, you bounce Soul Guide Lantern, they have to sacrifice it and now you can cast your Dream Script, untap, play your Underworld Breach, do whatever you want. When that requires a white mana, things get a little bit more awkward, and that was one of the things that I found with Prismatic Ending. So I'm back to just being pure Grixis. That doesn't mean that Prismatic Ending is bad or I'll never play it again. This is just something I've been trying the last few days, and I've actually enjoyed being Grixis. I like to play different things. Sometimes that's fine. Sometimes it doesn't work out. We'll see how it goes today. Yeah, so one of the things about moving Force back to the board is we got to add the 4th Wish back in, which is something I've enjoyed just because it does increase your turn 3 win, and that's something that I really like because I'm a combo player, so big fan of that. And we added in a 21st land, which is something that I got away with the previous build, but 21 lands just means that you mulligan way less one-landers, so I've liked it so far. I could see myself going back down to 20 at some point in the future, but 21's been pretty good for me. But when you look at these changes, you end up with 1 empty slot in your deck. Today, that empty slot for me is Thassa's Oracle. I don't think you actually need this card, if I'm being honest. I couldn't think of anything better. So it's a main deck win condition that, if you face Mill, it means you're not just dead if they hit your wishes, which is nice. But Oracle also can just be a 2-mana scry to look for Lotus Field, which is kind of nice. I don't know what the slot should be. Honestly, I'm not married to playing a main deck win condition. I could cut it at any moment if there's a better card I could be playing. So if you have something better than Thassa's Oracle, I'm all ears because I don't really care about this slot. This slot, I also tried a Lightning Bolt in, and it was pretty underwhelming. But yeah, I'm definitely open to ideas. If you have them, let me know what they are. Um, yeah, I feel like that's the deck list. If you have any thoughts, questions, concerns, suggestions, whatever, leave a comment down below. I do my best to answer all of them. And I will see you in match number 1. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to click that like button, leave a comment, and subscribe. That said, there's no better way of showing your support than becoming a member of this channel. You get sweet perks, and we get to keep making combo content. The perks get better and better each level you go up. They also stack. To start off, with our Storm Fan tier, you unlock our private members section of our Discord, which comes with a highlighted user profile and then some awesome badges and emotes for YouTube. Looking for Cyborg help? Become a Stormtrooper, our middle tier, for 2 Cyborg guides of your deck choice every single month, on top of 50% off donation decks. Did we mention you also get 10% off merchandise from our shop? With our top tier, the Combo Cabal, you get a free donation deck every single month, 15% off merchandise from our shop, early access to private deck lists, and the most valuable perk in my opinion, videos early. That's right, you heard it, early access to all videos. But maybe sweet perk, secret deck list, early access to videos isn't for you, but you'd still like to show your appreciation. Make sure to check out theepicstorm.com/shop for card singles and Storm swag. Please don't forget to use your membership discounts. Finally, if you want to see your combo deck here on this very YouTube channel, make sure to visit theepicstorm.com/donation decks, where all you have to do is attach your TXT file and pick a donation tier. With our Epic tier, you can even join me in a video to showcase your bold brew in person and explain the ins and outs of your strategy. Card availability won't be an issue due to our new sponsor, Card Hoarder. With Card Hoarder, renting is super easy. If you're looking to get into Magic Online, there isn't a better, more affordable solution than Card Hoarder. Fun fact, you can rent the Epic Storm for 7 tickets a week, which is just a great deal. There are many ways you can support us. Just pick whatever is best for you. In the meantime, let's play some Magic. Welcome to match number 1. We're on the draw against Wu-Tang 08, and we have a pretty stacked hand here. All we need is land number 2 and a Twiddle effect. Those are both, fairly common cards in this deck, so I think that we should keep. We have this Otherworldly Gaze to dig 3 cards looking for land number 2. I love it. All right, Blood Crypt into... Boo! Thoughtseize. I have to imagine that they're going to take Underworld Breach here. And they do. Okay. Draw. There's land number 2. I don't think I want to show them that I drew the land, so I'm just going to pass. Alright, and we're facing Grixis Shadow, arguably the best deck in the format. At least according to Goldfish. Okay, so we're going to fetch. Grab that Watery Grave. And let's cast Otherworldly Journey. Or Otherworldly Gaze, I'm sorry. I don't think we want Bobble. We don't really need 2 copies of Wish. And I think I'm okay with letting this team go. Okay, draw. Inquisition is not bad. Yeah, I don't hate firing that off here. It's probably just going to eat a Drown in the Lock based on their play pattern here, but we'll see. I'm so smart. How could I possibly have seen that coming? Yeah, we can mill that land. Okay, so next turn we're probably just playing Gaze in a Lotus Field. And an Inquisition. So we're losing our Wish, because they're definitely not taking Tome Scour here. Yep. Draw. And let's cast the... I could have cast Gaze in my upkeep. I just didn't. I don't know how I feel about the Pact here. Because if I can find Breach, having Pact is really, really valuable. The problem is getting there. So do I want to keep a counter on top? I think the answer is actually yes. So we're going to put the Pact on top of our deck, play Lotus Field, and play a Bobble. Pass the turn, and now on their upkeep, we'll Bobble them. Fatal Push. Okay, so they have a dead card in their hand. And they're passing. So I do have the steam vents removed. So if I do draw Breach, I have to tap the Lotus Field for red. Wish isn't bad, but it's not quite good enough right now. So I'm going to bring back the Lurrus to my hand and pass the turn. Lurrus would need 7 mana to put the Breach in play and then win. Actually 8 mana because I have to have the Twiddle up. So Lurrus is pretty unlikely to be cast. If anything, I think we would play Lurrus to return a Bobble. All right, and they've played out a Bobble, so now they can possibly get Revolt for their Fatal Push. All right, 5 cards in the opponent's hand. We're going to fetch, grab a Watery Grave. They're going to cash in the Bobble. Okay. Draw. And we draw. Echoing Truth. A little bit awkward. Do I want to play Lurrus? I think so. Whoops. Like, I know it's super likely to just die to Fatal Push or whatever, but I want the Bobble trigger. Okay. And then something we could do is use the Bobble immediately. Sure. So they still have a dead Fatal Push in their hand. And if I don't want the top card, I can scour it away. And I'll take the Consider. Okay, so we're going to draw off Bobble here. And they hit land 3. So now they can play Death Shadow while holding up Drown number 2. And that's what's going to happen here. Okay. And cast Consider. I don't know if I want Wish Claw. Really, it's like the same thing as having Wish here. I think I'm actually just going to mill it. Dream's Grip is good. That was actually a really good draw. So we can beat a Drown in the Lock here with this Pact. All right, so we're going to untap. So the easiest way of looking at this is that Wish in a Breach is 5 mana and you need 1 mana floating. So you need 6 total mana. We have 4 mana here and Dream's Grip is +2, so that's 6 mana. So that's enough to win the game. So we're going to cast Wish floating a red. Even if they have Drown in the Lock, it's not good enough. Underworld Breach. Didn't see that coming. Get packed. Alright, so Underworld Breach resolves, and it should be easy peasy from here. Untap. Let's remove another land. Okay. And now we show them the Scour. We've got it. And there's the Oracle. Opponent concedes. That's nice of them. And off to game number 2. This is a difficult matchup. I'm not going to pretend it's easy. Something we could do is swap Grapeshot for Oracle in case our opponent goes too low on life. I don't hate it. So I don't hate Pact here as well, just because it does beat their Drowns. I'm not sure if it's the best plan. And then I don't hate bringing in bounce spells for Alpine Moon and possible graveyard hate. So we have a lot of cards that we want to bring in. We're at 66 cards right now. I think that you could probably board out Bobbles just because like random card, like we're not looking to be fast in this matchup and it's random. So we're not in love with that. I think you do have to keep 1 card in your sideboard for Wish. So we're going to put a Void Snare back and that brings us down to 61. And then I think that you can keep 1 Pact in there for Wish as well. So that's actually 60. Fine by me. Let's try it out. Okay, now we're in game number 2. Woot woot. Reveal our Lurrus of the Dream Den. Pretty good hand in my opinion. We're going to try this. Okay, so our opponent's taken a mulligan and they've kept 6. Mountain into Dragon Rage Channeler. Okay, draw. I'm gonna start off on turn, go Lightning Bolt myself to get Watery Grave so we can cast Inquisition. Boom. 4 cards in hand. What's up, Spellbomb? You're getting out of here. They have Croxa Spell Pierce. Alright, so they can play Croxa this turn, which is pretty scary. Okay, so they have Spell Pierce and 1 Unknown. I think I'm going to get rid of the Void Snare. Yeah. Alright, 16. Draw. Wish Claw was a good one. Alright, so we're going to fetch for the basic island and play Wish Claw. We're not terribly far away from this game being a win. I mean, obviously our opponent has a Spell Pierce, plus 2 other cards in hand. Anything can happen. I do feel favored at the moment. 2 mana, Expressive Iteration. Sure. If we draw a Twiddle, there is a chance that we win on our turn. Swamp. Okay. Ooh, that hurts. That hurts. Okay, so we're losing our Underworld Breach. And I think that this game just became a lot closer. They took Pact. Really? That doesn't make sense to me unless they have Surgical in hand. They have Spell Pierce and 1 Unknown? I believe that's the win. Blue. We can play Lotus Field. So I untap Lotus Field. 1 floating. Play Breach. Yeah, this is a win. Breach. And activate Wish Claw. Go get the Tome Scour. Cast Twiddle. Okay. And now we Scour. Maybe they had like Blood Moon or something in hand. I'm not sure what the plan was here. Alright, so now we need to Twiddle again. And at this point, it's just going through the motion. Trying not to mess up. Alright, so Storm is 6. They're at 17. And our opponent has conceded the game. So that was match number 1 over the most popular deck in the format according to MTG Goldfish today. Woot woot. Round number 1 goes to the good guys. I'll see you in match number 2. If you haven't joined them already, I would recommend opening up our description down below and joining our 7 social media networks. They're each great in their own way, but I would strongly suggest joining our Discord server. In there, you will find others just like you looking to improve their Storm game and grow as a combo community. If you're a member of our YouTube channel, you should sync your account to Discord to unlock our private member section that has the latest and greatest deck lists, concepts, and much, much more. Let's get back to comboing out. Match number 2, we're on the play, and we've opened up a hand without another land, so we have to ship this. Okay, so we have triple Twiddle. Probably don't need that, so let's bottom one of these and try this out. I don't really know what our opponent's playing here, but this seems reasonable enough. Chancellor of the Tangle. Okay, so they're probably on Neoform. So I think we want to find like a discard spell pretty quickly. Now they're getting their Chancellor trigger. They're just going for the turn 1. Okay. Source Rider, so they have a turn 1 win by the looks of it. Okay. So, correct me if I'm wrong, this deck needs to tap Gristlebrand for mana in order to win. So I think we're supposed to tap Gristlebrand right now, so that way they can't filter for colored mana. But Yeah, I'm just going to do it now in case they have Pact Negation in their deck. Because their deck wins using Springleaf Drum. Okay, so they might still have me here. I could be wrong, but this is the out that I have. So another Summoner's Pact. Auto Crown Worm, okay. I mean, I could just be wrong here. Mox Amber. There's the drum. Oh, they could put another Shepherd into play. Okay, so I'm just dead then. They can make black mana? Oh, no, this makes mana of any color. My bad. So now our opponent can draw the rest of their deck. Getting turn 1 in Modern. Yeah. I mean, that's a hand for sure. Okay, and now they can play Laboratory Maniac and then just get the W. Yep. And another drum. They have 2 drums. I didn't know that. Children, sure. They could tap the children for blue and then play Lab. I just want to see what the actual win con is here. And it is Lab. Okay. They got me. Okay, so that was game number 1 where we got absolutely crushed. So, right side, we get to bring in Force and Negation. So that's going to be good. I don't think Pact is actually good. I mean, it's probably okay, but it's just way too slow. I think we just board out Baubles, so that way we have a higher blue density and run it back. Turn 1 kill in Modern. Very, very powerful. Okay, on the play for game number 2, reveal our copy of Lurrus. I mean, this hand is a turn 3, but is that good enough against what our opponent just did? I don't know. No, I'm going to keep it. I'm not going to ship a turn 3. If they turn 1 or turn 2 me, cool. Opponent going to 5 cards. Okay. Misty Rainforest and pass the turn. Sanctum, Serum Visions. 2 cards on the bottom. Go get a Watery Grave, why not? Whoops, did not mean to pay 2 life. It's fine. Inquisition. I'm just going to play Wishclaw. Alright, so it's looking like I'm going to get to live to see another day, but I could be wrong here. 2 cards on the bottom again. Draw. So, float 2 mana, untap. I think it's a clean kill. Float 2 mana, untap. Escape, go get... I'm not messing this up, right? I have 1 red floating. Escape. Yeah, this is just a win. Or at least I believe it is. And our opponent has conceded. Sweet. Alright, so now we go to game 3, and they didn't get to see my Force Negations. So I hope those come up. Alright, give me double Force, double blue card, please. We have a Force and double discard spell. I think I'm going to keep this. We don't have a blue card, but we have a lot of them in our deck. If I get turn 1 down the play, you know, things happen. I'm not going to ship this. Opponent mulligans. Going to 5 cards. Okay. Sanctum. Vision. Come on, blue card. Ding. Alright, let's Inquisition. Pay 2 life and cast it. Guess you just take the Neoform? Not really sure about that, but... And another vision. Two on top. That's interesting. Draw. I'm just going to play Wishclaw this turn. I want to see what they were willing to keep on top of their deck. And if it's Allosaurus Shepherd into Evolution, I can just force the Evolution. Draw. Inquisition. Alright, you got me. Pretty close to winning. Right? They have 4 cards in hand. Draw. I believe that does it. So we're going to go to 14 here. And Twiddle. Okay, Twiddle again. Cancel. Let's tap this for black mana. Go get Underworld Breach. Play Breach. And our opponent's conceded, so we are 2-0. Wooch wooch. 3 rounds left to go. Playing your favorite combo deck in Paper just got so much easier with the Epic Storm Mini Token Pack. You can pick one up at theepicstorm.com/shop for $13. It includes 64 double-sided mini tokens. That's 128 tokens total. And they include 10 black, 10 blue, 10 red, 5 green, 5 white, 3 colorless, 20 storm counters. That means that you can count your way all the way up to 20 for Grapeshot, everyone's favorite Stormwind condition, a Galvanic Relay Exile Indicator, 4 treasure tokens for Strike It Rich, and then 10 monk tokens for our vintage friends. It also has Slime Time Live, Ave Progenitor Ooze tokens with the power and toughness already built in to make playing in Paper so much easier. No fumbling around with dice. We've got you covered. Make sure to go grab those if you're playing Modern. And then Squirrels versus Goblins, Chatterstorm versus Empty the Warrens, the Battle of the Ages. You definitely need 20 Squirrel tokens and 20 Goblin tokens. You're going to love this mini token pack, I promise. And once again, you can grab that at theepicstorm.com/shop. All right, match number 3, and we're on the play. This hand's pretty good. We have Bobble You into Turn 1 Inquisition. We just need to find Lotus Field. We have Wish already to go get Breach, and then, Dream Script off that Breach to go come back and get Tome Scour. Like, this hand has a lot of potential. It just really hinges on being able to find Lotus Field. All right, so let's lead off with our Mishra's Bobble. Target you, Storm 1. Scalding Tarn. So much info. Alright, so let's sacrifice this Misty Rainforest. We're going to go get Watery Grave, paying 2 life, and casting our black spell. What do you got? Apparently Brazen Borrower. Ooh, it's Living End. Nightmare matchup. And they have Grief. This is not good. This is not good at all. I was so pumped. I was like, hell yeah, we're 2-0. We're going to crush. And then we get paired into Living End? Come on. Did I deserve this? Just going to get destroyed. Turn pass. No grief, huh? Draw. Gaze. Okay. It's interesting that they didn't play the grief. Cycling that Architects. And once again, not playing grief. But they also showed us that they drew a land. Alright, I think I want to play Consider first, that way I get to dig a little bit deeper. Yes, put that to the graveyard. Did not need that. Otherworldly Gaze. I think I'm just going to burn all of these. And then I'm thinking about upkeep Gazing. So that way I can potentially find Lotus Field this turn. No such luck. Is Gaze better than a random draw? I'm definitely putting these cards to the graveyard. So the question is whether or not I keep Gaze. I think I'd rather have a random draw. Alright, Lotus Field. Consider's not awful. We're definitely going to be hit by grief this turn after showing our opponent what we're doing. And here comes the Waker of Waves. They bend a force and negation. The disrespect. Cycling Street Wraith. Cycling Street Wraith. So they're going for, you know, the Cascade spell here. Maybe they just have another black creature in hand already. There's the breeding pool. Cast Consider. I think I just have to mill that. Breach is interesting. Lotus Field, please. Never lucky. I almost feel like I'm supposed to play Breach here. Breach. This is going to be a value breach for what it's worth. Cycling Curator of Mystery. So that means that they cannot play a Cascade spell on this turn. So I'm going to start off with a Bauble. Remove some of these lands. You're going to bounce my Breach? Alright, well that actually worked out really nicely. So I am going to consider here. Remove land, Wish, Inquisition. That can go to the graveyard. Now I think I'm supposed to Gaze, looking for that Lotus Field. Cast with Escape, remove the land, the Consider. Holy Lotus Fields. Alright, we finally found one. Graveyard, keep on top. Okay, so the downside is we do have this dead polluted delta. Alright. They have 5 cards. About to be 6. Sunken Ruins, so they can hardcast the Grief now. Evoke. Yeah, you got it. So if it is Living End, that's going to be painful because we need 2 action spells here. What did they pitch? Living End. So we still know that out of their 3 cards, one of them is Steam Vents. So they have 2 unknowns. Alright, and they took Breach. I'm not terribly shocked by that. What else do you have? And they're just passing, apparently. Let's bobble them. Maybe land on top. So I think I'm supposed to think after I draw this bobble trigger. So I could tap these 2, untap Lotus Field. So I'd have 1 mana floating, and that's 6 mana, which is the magic number for Wish being a win. So I'm not supposed to play the Gaze here. If I didn't have enough mana, then I think you're supposed to Gaze. Looking for Breach. Alright, Lotus Field. Now we untap. Play Wish. Activating Waker. We know that they're looking at Misty and they milled that. Alright, so Wish. Underworld Breach. Okay, so we're going to Dreamscript and untap this Lotus Field. Get out of here. Alright. We're going to escape the Dreamscript again. And now we escape Wish after tapping for red, not black mana. Alright, so now we escape Wish. Removing Breach. Gaze Truth. And then start Tome Scouring ourselves. All right, from here, it is a deterministic win. Okay, so at this point, we just have to go through the motions again. Wish Claw, Grip, Wish, you got it. Okay. There's our Oracle. Not going to remove that. Only 17 cards left in deck. So we'll be there momentarily. Scour ourselves. Consider remove some of these Twiddle effects, I mean. Scour. Twiddle the Lotus Field. And we're at 7 cards. Scour, remove Wish, Gaze, Gaze. Twiddle this. Breach, Misty, Inquisition. Alright, and now we can actually use Consider to clear the rest of the deck, which is kind of nice. Yes, put Twiddle to the graveyard. My last card was a Wish Claw. Tap for blue mana, and then play the Thassa's Oracle. No cards in deck. Woot woot. So I do know that the sideboards of this deck often play Subtlety, so I'm going to swap Thassa's Oracle with the Grapeshot, at least for now. And I am interested in Force Negation. I'm also interested in Pact Negation, so I'm not even sure if we want that effect, if I'm being honest. I do know how the sideboards, like, I actually really enjoy playing 4-color Living End, so I've looked at a lot of lists, and there's basically two schools of thought when it comes to the sideboard. There's people that can afford to play Endurance, because it is a really pricey card on Magic the Gathering Online, or you play Fairy Macabre. And if you play Fairy Macabre, you're a lot better against me than I would like, because I can't really interact with it. So that's sort of a pain point when it comes to playing this deck, is that Fairy Macabre just disrupts our combo so freely. On top of them also having Force and Negation and being faster and Grief, it's a nightmare. So I don't think we're allowed to board in all 4 packs. I think you have to leave 1. But I do think you're supposed to board out this Mishra's Bauble. That's 61. I think you could probably get rid of Echoing Truth. They have Leyline of Sanctity in some builds, but who knows if they're going to board that in. And even if they do, we can just win with Oracle. So I think we do this. Game number 2. We're on the draw. This hand seems fine. I don't love it, but it's good enough. Keep. Aggressive. Street Wraith out of the gates. Alright. So I think I'm probably going to lead on the Inquisition. I don't hate the Lotus Field draw. I actually wonder if I'm supposed to wait now. I think hitting land 2 is probably more important. So I'm just going to lead on the Otherworldly Gaze. Okay. We're going to go to 17 life here and go to get Watery Grave. And then cast the Gaze. We found land 2. I think we keep Misty because it's extra land that goes to our graveyard for Underworld Breach. Draw. And let's cast the Inquisition of Kozilek. Force and Negation. Okay. Pass the turn. 3 mana. So if they have Violent Outburst, they can cast it on our turn through the Force, which is kind of bad for us. Whoops. I did not mean to click through my turn like that. That is awkward. Alright, so I think I'm going to upkeep Otherworldly Gaze here. Here it is, the Outburst. So they're putting 8 power into play, telling me that I need to win ASAP. Okay. They still have 3 cards in hand, too. Pretty scary. Right, so honestly, I wonder if that changes things. I wonder if I'm supposed to just burn the cards in my hand so that way I have a flush or a fuller graveyard. I'm gonna keep the Twiddle and then Gaze. We definitely don't need another Wish. Um, so the land is actually pretty interesting because it guarantees 6 mana next turn. But I think Pact is actually one of my better draws. Realistically, I need both Pact and mana 6. So I think I'm supposed to keep this. Draw. Play the Lotus Field. And I just have to hope that my opponent just has nothing in hand after that. A lot of these builds also play things like Mystical Dispute, and there's Grief. So they just had it all. I guess I could potentially draw into Breach. And there goes our Wish. Yep. Need to think about this. I think I just take the draw. Because I can Twiddle the Street Wraith to try to buy time. Another Twiddle. Alright, so we're going to pass here. And they have Endurance too. What a draw. Ugh. They just crushed me. This is what happens in the matchup. That was a really good hand. So I'd have to double Twiddle just to live. Yeah, I can't. This. Alright, you got me. Wow. Okay. I'm just gonna submit again. Game 3, we're on the play. Reveal our combo cat. This seems pretty good. Top out the graveyards. So we're going to curve Inquisition into Wishclaw into Lotus Field or potentially the Force. Okay, 17 life. And Inquisition. Forcing it. Okay. That's interesting. Misty Rainforest pass. I don't love the second Lotus Field if I'm being honest. Wishclaw, pass the turn. Cycling Curator, okay. Misty Rainforest. They have 5 cards in hand. Another land. You're killing me. Alright, I think we just have to hold up Force. Cycling Architects of Will. And Curator of Mystery. Got it. 14 life. I mean, if they have Grief into Living End, like, we can't beat those draws where they have turn 1 Force, turn 3 Grief, and the combo on turn. Which is why this is such a nightmare for us. Yeah, like, we just can't do anything about that. Okay, and they still have 2 cards in hand. Let's get this defense. Like, they might even be putting lethal into here. I don't know. I haven't counted the power and toughness. 14, 16. Yeah, they're also representing lethal. Jeez. And they get to look at our top 3 and rearrange them with architects. We're just dead. Alright, we get to draw our worst card. Yep, that seems about right. Okay, so... yeah. We're at 16 and they have 16 power. That stinks. I'll see you in match number 4. Hey, you're still watching. Don't forget to like this video, leave a comment, and subscribe. If you're looking to make a purchase from Card Hoarder, TCG Player, or Amazon and are looking to support us, you can open up our description down below, and in there you will find our affiliate links. Those same links are found on the homepage of the Epic Storm. But that's not all. We've included a card hoarder button on our website that will load the Epic Storm in your card hoarder cart to make life simple for you. Match number 4. We're on the draw, and well, this hand's just a keep, so we're going to try it. We have turn 1 Inquisition into turn 2 Wishclaw. I mean, it's tough to say no. We also have Pact and Negation backup versus a possible blue deck. That Twiddle was a good draw. Okay, so out of our next few draw steps, we're looking to hit Lotus Field or Breach for an easy win. Start off on the Inquisition. And they're just Rhinos. Okay. We take the Prismari command. Rhinos is an interesting matchup because they do board into 3 Blood Moons and Endurance, so there's a lot of hate that they have. They're also a Force and Negation deck, so there's a lot going on. Alright, suspending the Crashing Footfalls. You got it. Draw. Bobble. Let's play out the Wishclaw and then our Bobble. That's the turn. Okay, Footfalls trigger on the stack. We're going to Bobble them. Blooded Strand. Okay, so we still know 3 of the 4 cards in there. We're looking for Lotus Field and Breach. Another Consider. Bobble. Let's play the Considers right now. See if we can hit either. I think we're going to bend the gaze. Ding! Consider. Let's mill that. I have the Pact. I shouldn't need that. Alright, so now we're just going to play the Lotus Field and then try next turn. So you might be wondering, Bryant, why didn't you try to win this turn? You had the Watery Grave untapped. You had double Twiddle. You could go get Breach. Well, we don't actually have Tome Scour. That's the problem. Where next turn I'll have more mana going into it, so I can use this Otherworldly Gaze as a Tome Scour until I hit. I'm going to Bobble them. Gemstone Caverns. Not the best draws for our opponent. So they could tap the Wishclaw on our upkeep to buy some time. Okay. We can wait another turn. We're not under any pressure. We could also just untap it. Alright. Which might be the play here. Let's play the Consider. Fill that to the graveyard. And that's a win. Alright. Twiddle, twiddle, twiddle. Red mana, play Breach. Twiddle the Lotus. Yep. And then untap the Wishclaw, activate Wishclaw, go get Scour, easy peasy lemon squeezy. Alright, and now we just have to go through it. Okay, so 28 cards now. Okay. 4 blue, Scour again. Scour. And again, this brings us down to 13 cards. This next one, I do need to untap the Lotus Field or else we fizzle, so don't want to do that. Alright. And why not? Let's Twiddle again. Okay, Storm 15, not that Storm's super relevant. And they've already seen the Thassa's Oracle, so it's not like we're actually hiding a whole lot from our opponent here. Alright, this brings us down to 8. 3. And then 0. So, in theory, you could just cast the Oracle here. It's pretty unlikely that our opponent has anything that's relevant. But, if you untap and have mana floating, you can respond. And I think that's just worth it in my opinion. So like you could play a Wish into another Pact or just go get Grapeshot. There's a lot that you could do. And I think that it's just like kind of throwing away the game by leaving yourself dead to a card that you didn't need. So we're going to play Oracle now. That's going to be the game. But why leave yourself potentially dead to 2 tricks that we don't know everything in our opponent's hand? So I don't know. It's like pretty free, because if you packed, and let's say your opponent has endurance or something, I don't know, but you packed, and then that pact is still on the stack, so you can't escape it with breach again. So you do lose the double trick, and it's just like kind of free to leave it here and have that back door. All right, so I mentioned that we probably want more copies of Pact of Negation. It's tough because like we really want most of our sideboard in this matchup, because they're a deck that has Blood Moon, they have Endurance, they have Force of Negation. So there's a lot of things we're interested in. I think it's pretty easy to board out Mishra's Bauble. But that's still 66 cards, which is a lot. I think the real answer is that maybe we don't board in Force of Negation and we answer Blood Moon just with bounce spells. That leaves us at 62. I do think we want all the packs we can get, but I don't really want to board those out. I think that you're allowed to shave 1 bounce spell, so that way you can get it with Wish, and that brings us down to 61. And we need 1 more card to board out. And I think it's just the Oracle. Okay. All right, game number 2 against Rug, Shardless Rhinos, whatever you'd like to call it. And we're going to try this out. Opponent's taking a mulligan. So we have Lotus Field. We obviously have our 2 lands to sacrifice. We have the Pact of Negation for Endurance or Force. There's a lot to like about this hand. We also have Scalding Tarn to go get basic Island, which is pretty good. I think I'm just going to play Watergrave tapped. Misty Rainforest. In this turn, we need to play a fetch land, so that way we can have an island for Blood Moon. Inquisition was a good draw. Let's cast it. There's that Blood Moon. They also have Mystical Dispute plus Endurance. Pretty scary. Violent Outburst. Yeah, so their hand's pretty good. I think we just take the Blood Moon here. Kind of hoping that they just miss on land number 3. Looks like they did. Alright, so I'm going to pull a land out. I am not going to plot a basic, because I'm just going to sack them to Lotus Field, I think. Draw. Yeah. Okay. So hope that I get to untap with Pact. So theoretically, if they do slam a Blood Moon here, I could Pact it and then upkeep Twiddle my Lotus to stay in the game. Right. So they have Dispute Endurance up. Breach was a good draw. But I'm just gonna put Lurrus to my hand for now, because we can't win quite yet. There's land 3. So they're probably just going to play Shardless Agent here, if I had to take a guess, and then shields down for Endurance. If we could draw a Wishclaw Talisman, a Wish. Honestly, even with if we drew the Otherworldly Gaze, I'd probably try to win off that. But we need to draw something that mills cards. Consider too. I would try with Consider, I think. Alright, they got the basic, which is scaring me a little bit. This is second Blood Moon. Their avatar is a Rhino, for what it's worth. Maybe we could have seen their deck if we had just thought about it a little longer. That Rhino life. And it was another Blood Moon. So I think I'm forced to Pact here. Yeah. It stinks, because now I can't really fight the Endurance that well. So I'm going to Twiddle my land and then pay for Pact. Alright, so Twiddle. And then tap for blue. Yes, I would like to pay for Pact of Negation. Draw. Consider would have been a card that won the game if they played Shardless. Or, well, we could have tried to win the game, I'll say. Play Play Steam Vents and pass. I think we're going to start next turn off by playing the Breach and seeing if they endurance us in response. There's the agent. Rhino time. They do have a Violent Outburst in hand, which means that next turn they can pump these, so it's 13 coming in. And we do know that our opponent has endurance, like I mentioned. So I'm going to play Breach, and they're probably just going to remove our graveyard if I had to take a wild guess. Because if they don't, I can Pact to Negation the endurance on the way back. Wow. Their draws have been really good. Wow. Let's consider in response. I can go to the graveyard. Jeez. So they have 3 cards in hand, and they are Dispute, Endurance, Violent Outburst. I don't think we're going to be able to win. That's a real bummer. Alright, so we're taking at least 10 year, possibly 13. Draw. Heal. That doesn't really do us any favors. Play the Lurrus. All they need to do is Outburst and then put 2 more Rhinos in play. Theoretically, I could double Dreamscript to stay alive, but then the Endurance ruins any chance I had of winning. And they're deciding to not use the Outburst. Tap a Rhino. I have to block due to Violent Outburst, so might as well block here. Like, I don't know if we actually have a draw that keeps us alive. But might as well see what it is. Draw. But Trend wasn't going to do it. Alright, so we're going to game 3. Our opponent had some very good runners there, but it happens in Magic. It is a game where that, you know, stuff happens. You get over it, just play better, try to win the next one. So that's what we're going to try to do here. And I'm just going to submit that. I think our deck configuration was correct. We just happened to not win. I guess we could have drawn Echoing Truth. I wasn't considering that as a potential out. Game 3 versus Shardless Rhinos. Reveal our combo cat. Yikes. I think we have to ship this. We just can't keep a 1-lander. Sure. I don't love this, but I think we're supposed to keep it. I think we actually bottomed the Wish here, which is kind of crazy. Our best draw is likely Pact. Pact and Lotus Field. They had turn 1 Gemstone, which means that they can play 3 drops on turn 2, which is pretty scary. They removed a Mystical Dispute, so I think that says something about the strength of their hand. Alright, we're going to remove this, or we'll search up this Watery Grave. Draw. Ruth. I don't know how good that actually is. Okay, they picked up a basic, so we're getting mooned here. Turn 2 Blood Moon. Oh, not Blood Moon. Rhinos, they have 4 cards, so if we draw... Well, I don't know if that's even true. Pact. I mean, that was a good draw. I'm just a Twiddle short, I think. If I had another Twiddle, we could go for it. They have 4 cards in hand. So if I give them Wishclaw right now and go get Lotus Field and then don't play it, I could try to win on my next turn. But I don't know how much I like that. The problem is I think they already have Blood Moon. Maybe that's just the line, though. Alright, this could really bite me in the butt here. I'm hoping it doesn't. They have 3 Blood Moons in their revealed pile. And then we're going to Scour. Pass the turn. So they could also Wishclaw activate for Blood Moon. We have this Echoing Truth, so the plan is to play Lotus Field underneath the Blood Moon, bounce the Blood Moon, force their pact, and then try to win. But I don't know if that's going to happen. There's the Blood Moon. So they had number 4 in hand. 4 Blood Moon is also more than the average person for what it's worth. I've seen 3 in a lot of lists, not 4. Alright, we're going to try to win now. Bounce your Blood Moon. They have 4 cards. Twiddle. Alright. Tap for red. Underworld Breach. Really? It just resolves? Okay. Untap. They're F6'd. I think we got it. Scour targeting us. Oracle and Grapeshot are both exiled, so we don't have a main deck win con. Scour ourselves again. I just have to not mess this up now. Pretty big ask coming from me, but we'll see if we can do it. Escape away. Dream Script to untap target permanent. 3-1 over the Force of Negation Blood Moon Endurance deck. Let's go. Round number 5 coming up. If you're looking for more great Magic the Gathering content, definitely check out the Eternal Glory podcast. It is myself, Bryant Cook, alongside Brian Koval and Phil Gallagher. We primarily discuss Legacy. That said, a lot of what we talk about transcends all formats. We're available on all major podcast platforms. All right, the 5th and final match, and we're on the play. We have our Lurrus revealed. We have an Underworld Breach, a Grip. What we don't have is a Lotus Field or a Scour or anything like it. So Oracle in your hand is almost a mulligan. It does help you scry 2 towards finding that Lotus Field. But honestly, anything above land 2 is sort of a mulligan on its own. So this is like a 5-ish card hand realistically. I think you're just supposed to ship it. This is much better. Much, much, much better. Alright, we're going to keep this and bottom the gaze. Okay. Misty Rainforest and pass the turn. No clue what our opponent's playing. Steam Vents, okay. Hard Evidence, so likely the, what is it called? Indomitable Creativity? Indomitable? There we go. Words! I said them. And let's play the Otherworldly Gaze. I don't actually mind the Dream Script. That could be a keep. I think it is. Okay. So we'll put the grip on top. Take our turn. Draw. Ouch. Wishclaw Talisman. And our best draw is likely Lotus Field, which would give us a clean turn 3. Excuse me. Sorry about that. I was eating pretzels in between rounds and yikes. Alright, so we're looking for, I guess a Scour could also win. We have a few hits here. Draw. Consider. Am I crazy for wanting to go for it here? I feel like I am. It's just so aggressive. Right, I'm going to play Consider. I don't think I'm supposed to try for it, and that's a good hit. Does that mean we win? I think it does. Assuming our opponent has no interaction. Let's untap. Oh, Spell Pierce. That's a bummer. Okay. So we can try again next turn. 3 mana up. Draw. And another Consider. Does this resolve? Well, what about Underworld Breach? I would like it if that one resolved. Interesting. Okay. So let's untap the field. And I'm going to cast the Consider. I think turning it into a Twiddle is just fine. Alright, so let's make some more mana here. Yes. And I'm just going to go get the Tome Scour. Cast it, targeting me. Okay. Again. So we revealed an Inquisition. I don't think I want to tap my Lotus Field for black, but theoretically something we're allowed to do. Okay, so they're F6'd at this point. We just have to go through the motion. Scour. That like lagged, so I'm gonna do it again just to make sure. Okay. 30 cards. Let's scour again. Probably remove some Twiddles starting soon, so that way our entire graveyard isn't just Twiddles. Alright, but for now we do need a few of them. 25 cards left in the library. Scour. Scour again. I'd like it if we could mill over the Pact to Negation soon. It doesn't really matter, but I don't know, it would make me feel more comfortable. There's the Oracle. 10 cards left in deck, still no Pact. Alright, so we're gonna untap the Lotus Field. Yes. Put a Lotus Field. Okay. 10 cards left. Let's scour. Remove Consider. Grip Consider, I guess. Scour. And that leaves us with an empty deck. Alright, so I think we just play the Oracle. We do have the Pact and Negation in here. And that's going to do it for game number 1. Woot woot. Okay, so I am interested in Force and Negation here because they are an opposing combo deck. They also have their own interaction, so I kind of want packs. And I kind of want these bounce spells. A lot of cards. A lot of cards. So we start off by boarding out Baubles again. I think you can keep one pact in the board. That's 64 cards. I don't even know how good the bounce spells are. Maybe we just do 2. But I do feel that you want like instant sorcery. Like, I'm not sure. Makes me nervous. And now we need 3 more cards to board out. You'd probably shave like 1 wish, maybe. Maybe like 2 Consider. I think you want the main deck win con. So that way you can, like, I don't really know what they're putting into play. I've heard different decks do different things. So I know that this is dated and it's outdated technology. I'm aware of that. But some people play Void Winnower and Thassa's Oracle can beat that. Actually, I can probably look this up. I have a minute left. Let's do it. Goldfish. Popular. Modern. So you have to go pretty far back. Or at least when I was looking yesterday, I had to go to page 2 of the All Decks tab. It looks like they actually removed some decks. So 1 minute left. Is Creativity still in here? There it is. Okay. Emrakul Seer's Emissary. So, I don't know if I care about Seer's Emissary. Blossoming Calm, Alpine Moon. Okay. Maybe I just don't do bounce spell. Well, they do have one Alpine. Alright. Whoops. I'm going to do two consider. It might be wrong. This is what I'm going to try. Alright. Combo Cat, you are being chosen. I'd love to keep this hand. Not allowed to. Okay. Bottom Twiddle. Like, this hand's fine. Draw. Consider. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Events. Sure. Hard evidence. Consider. That can go straight to the graveyard. And the other consider. Okay. So they could have like a turn 3 Seer's Emissary or Emrakul here. I could also just bounce the crab. Is that the right thing to do here? Oh, it gives them both. Okay, so that's just not a good line. Alright, let's just play our Wish Claw. Also, I think with creativity you have to pay 1, so they would need 4 mana. I don't think you can do it on 3, but I could be wrong. 3 mana. It also costs triple red, so it's not creativity. Command is pretty good, though. That hurt. Draw. Force and negate. I will keep Otherworldly Gaze. It does help dig for Lotus Field, which I'm fine with. 3 cards in hand. Wonder what the black is for. Let's play the Otherworldly Gaze. I think I'm just going to mill the discard spell. 3 cards in hand. I'm going to upkeep, just play the Otherworldly, looking for that Lotus Field. Okay. Draw. No dice. Alright, well, we got 6 dead draws out of the way. I don't hate that. Fact or fiction? Whoops. Creativity or the rest? Okay, they took 4. So they wanted 4 lands plus Spell Pierce. Good deal. Alright. Draw. Well, they have a nice Spell Pierce target now. Play it. Remand. Okay. Sure thing. Another Dwarven Mine. So we're going to fall to 16 here. Looks like creativity with Pierce back up. And they have Spell Pierce. So do I even want to... Oh, they've already seen Force. We're just dead. Yep. Okay, so they get Emrakul Seer's Emissary. Double Archon. Alright, so they're an Archon build. Discard Wish. And Wish Claw, because if I pass back, I'm dead. Theoretically, I think I could actually bounce one. I don't think it really matters. Let's just discard the Void. I'm probably dead. I'm definitely dead. Draw. Well then, you just got interesting. Do we think our opponent has another copy of Spell Pierce? Yes. Should I try to win? Yes. Like, there's a chance they don't have it, so we're just gonna do what we can. Untap. Uh-oh, that looked like an F6. Oh my. Oh my. Are we really going to get this? All right. So now we tap this for black. Wishclaw Talisman. Activate. Go get the Scour. And our opponent concedes. Woot, woot. So that means that we went 4-1. Yeah, 4-1. Pretty good league. We only lost to a nightmare matchup. That's pretty cool. Yeah, so I think the Otherworldly Gaze, honestly, it looked pretty good. I know that it's not a card that's ever going to knock your socks off. It's always just like a fine card. It fills up the graveyard really effectively for Underworld Breach. It digs really deep for Lotus Field. It does pretty much everything we want. It just doesn't replace itself. So I think it's probably an upgrade over Serum Visions. Let me know what you think. Yeah, and, I mean, we faced a lot of combo decks in this league. So obviously Force in the board looked a little bit worse than it normally does, but I've been enjoying it out of the board and not the main deck, but you're welcome to disagree with me. If you do disagree with me, tell me why. I'm always interested in, listening to that thought process. I didn't really miss Prismatic Ending, if I'm being honest. I do like the 4 bounce spell package between the main deck and the sideboard. Let me know what you thought about that. That's really all I have today. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. Take care, keep storming, and keep untapping your Lotus Fields. Hey, Bryant Cook here. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please like and subscribe, but also follow the social media channels down below. If you want to support this content directly, I would recommend going to theepicstorm.com/shop. And if you need a little bit of assistance with the Epic Storm to get to that next level, I would recommend going to theepicstorm.com/tutoring. Don't worry, there's more great content coming right up.